All right, as everyone settles in once again, welcome back to those of you still with us on our special NewsX We Women Want Conclave 2025 and Shakti Awards. And hello and welcome to those of you just joining us for this next special panel. We have with us, of course, someone who has carved a niche for herself, not just relying on her past famous lineage, but also truly creating one of her own through her work in Baroda, in Gujarat, but all across the country as well. I'm talking, of course, about Dr. Radhikaraje Gaekwad, a Maharani of Baroda and philanthropist. Thank you very much for joining us today. Welcome.
Can you hear me? There you go. Thank you so much for having me here, Uday. It's truly an honor.
Firstly, you've just been honored with the NewsX Excellence Shakti Award for Excellence in Philanthropy. So I'll take your first quick reaction to that. How do you feel?
I feel very, very humbled and honored to receive it in such august company and to be appreciated for something that you're not seeking appreciation for always feels all that more special. So thank you so much.
Royalty is always known for being very well turned out, and that you are today as well. It is National Handloom Day as well, so happy National Handloom Day to all our viewers. Tell us about what you're wearing.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, I'm a very, very proud Indian, and I really like to speak about our crafts. And this is actually ikat, which is a tie and dye technique. So this is done by a very, very special artist, and it's called Varshashri. And what they've done is they've actually recreated the rainbow baupa, the snake skin on tie and dye. So it's really a unique piece, and each one's individual. And that's what Indian crafts are, you know. Each one is, anything created by hand is unique, and that's what India is. Everything is bespoke.
How important is it also to give more promotion to Indian handloom? You know, the Prime Minister also often talks about Make in India. How important is it to promote Indian handloom and really make it the toast of those abroad as well?
It was always, if you look at history, if you look back, Indian crafts were the toast of fashion, high luxury world over. And over time, it's got corrupted to and reduced to, you know, to few designer labels. And I'm very grateful for keeping craft alive that designers are doing in their own way. But I think each of us as individual needs to come up and support craft. And as we know that craft is the second highest employment generator after farming. We need to bring back dignity to craft, and we need to bring back dignity to our culture. And the two of them are, you know, intertwined.
They certainly are. And, you know, also, of course, you know, your own work, as I said, you are carving an illustrious legacy forward as well, not just relying on your past legacy. How much of your time has been devoted to arts and crafts as well, in your own unique way, in Baroda and, of course, locally there in Gujarat?
A lot of my time and energy goes into focusing and enabling craft. I work with two crafts in my own capacity. I'm reviving the traditional real Zari Chanderis in Chanderi, Madhya Pradesh, as well as what we had, textile, which was worn and patronized by the royal family of Baroda, called the Baroda Shalu in Banaras. So these are the two crafts that I'm personally reviving. But other than that, I'm also director of CDS Art Foundation, where we align designers with artisans, and we give them, you know, a year to collaborate, and we bring the artisan to the fore. So bringing back dignity and, you know, provenance to the craft. And of course, there's Urja, which I organize every year. I bring different crafts from around the country, and again, align them with designers.
You know, I asked this question to Nimrat Kaur, actress as well, who was with us earlier today, because her family was also in the room. Your family is also in the room today. So let's, you know, talk about that. How does it feel to have your parents in the room when you are getting this award on stage? And how much is it of their upbringing and values that has led you to become this achiever that you are today?
Absolutely. I'm here because of my parents, and I have learned the activism and to stand for what you believe in from my father, who even today fights, you know, bitter battles for wildlife and conservation. And so that idealism and that sense of purpose comes from him. And the compassion and humility and the ability to connect with people that I hope I have inherited from my mother. So between the two of them, I really do have quite an incredible set of genes. And see, I get to be here today, all thanks to them.
Also, of course, I have to ask you about your work for the queer community as well. Again, that's something that we've seen you have a special passion for. And it also is something which now is being seen in India. Otherwise, this was a community which was often on the margins of society in our country.
Absolutely. And the thing was that you oversee them. They're so invisible to us. And over generations, they've kind of learned to just merge in the background. And there is huge repression and mental health issues that they go through because they face so much rejection in life. My efforts have been just to give them a sense of dignity, to an agency, to give them employment skilling that they can lead their lives on their own terms, and to be able to earn a livelihood with dignity. It's been a challenge, but today I must say that my cafe, which is one of its kind in Western India, it's called Gazra Cafe. Today we are able to make that much money, that the proceeds have been able to fund a transgender reassignment, a sexual reassignment surgery. So, we are definitely on a path, and it's great to be able to make impact. And I feel, and I see the changes, and I've realized over time, Uday, that people want to help, and people are well-intentioned. It's just that they're not always well-informed. And that's where I feel my role comes important, that to be able to amplify and clearly communicate what the causes are. And I feel there are enough people out there who wish to support. And there are so many youngsters who come from the LGBTQI community and tell me that, I was at the brink of suicide and your initiative has helped, or that today my mother accepts me because, you are standing up for causes like this. So.
Before I come back and talk also a bit about Lakshmi Vilas Palace in Vadodara, and also, of course, the uniqueness of it. We saw how Prime Minister Modi had taken the Spanish head of state there as well last year, I think that was. Let me ask you, though, about a controversy that happened recently regarding a show called The Royals. And we have Anshu Khanna here as well. And Anshu Khanna had also written an open letter which had also gone viral. But you also had written a very important open letter, being a royal yourself, on the show and what you felt was wrong in it. What made you write that letter, and what do you feel about the response that happened?
I never anticipated the response that happened, and there was a lot of coverage and a lot of support that came out from very, very unusual quarters. For me, it was just an attempt to call out incorrect history, because what we've been seeing since independence has been this controlled narrative to paint royalty as debauched. And I am sure there have been instances in history where this would be confirmed. However, India stands to a large extent on the shoulders of what came before independence. And I mean that in terms of our architecture, our engineering, our policy, our craft and culture. Royalty were the administrators of India for centuries. And of course, that shrank as the British came in. But there had to be a negotiation between the new people coming in and the old standing royalty, and that was diplomacy at best that could be said. And to today say that everything that existed before independence was debauched or evil is unfair, because we are standing testimonies. We are still in our motherland. We are still speak for our people, represent our people, and the fact that so many of us are in positions of leadership in politics itself is a testimony that people trust us, and we continue to hold that trust very, very dearly.
Okay. That, of course, was your comment on the royals, which went viral. But do you believe there is still this perception, in India that, of course, there is still this image? And does Bollywood, you believe, contribute to that?
I think media and cinema contributes to our concept of popular history, especially now more than ever. And every layer of incorrect narrative, whether it's cinema, whether it's snide remarks, or have kind of layered that to be the documentation or the final truth. And that's where I see the problem is, because post-independence, there were all these movies about Thakurs being wayward and royalty being debauched, and that became kind of the premise for every other work that emerged to
Yes.
be. And somewhere that needs to be reviewed.
Okay. I want to quickly ask you, though, before we end on Lakshmi Vilas Palace, Baroda, what is your favorite artwork there? The art is legendary, Raja Ravi Verma and whatnot. What is your favorite piece of art there?
I must admit, my favorite piece of art are the Lakshmi and Saraswati paintings by Raja Ravi Verma, which are in the Gadi Hall. They are really quite spectacular, and when you stand before them, you do feel divine presence.
And how was that visit by PM Modi and the Spanish head of state?
It was really quite charming. They were all very, very enthralled, the the Spanish premier and his wife, and they were very, very gracious. And because they have royalty of their own, they had a deeper understanding of how royalty is.
Okay. And we'll end now with a story by you. वो कहते हैं ना, वो पहले बड़ा फेमस था राजा रानी और कहानियाँ, और सारी पुरानी कहानियों में राजा होते थे, रानी होती थी, महारानी होते थे, महाराजा होते थे। अब महारानी साक्षात हैं, तो एक कहानी बता दीजिए, कोई पुरानी बड़ौदा की या वांकानेर की जो आपने सुनी हो।
बहुत सारी कहानियां हैं, बट अभी मैंने हमारे डॉक्यूमेंटेशन में काफ़ी एक अनोखा एक फोटोग्राफ आए, जिसमें महारानी हाथी पे सवार हैं, एंड शी वाज गोइंग फॉर नाग पंचमी, and she is riding an elephant, which is, I thought, very, very unusual. And it's been documented, and where she says, what are you talking about, parda? I do not believe in parda, and I do not stand for parda. And I thought that itself was really remarkable. There are also the story that post-independence, when these ladies would read newspapers, and the daughter-in-laws that followed after that could not read, and they were approached. I know the story firsthand, because they were approached my father-in-law complaining कि हम सब पढ़े लिखे हैं, हमारी बहुएं आजकल बिल्कुल पढ़ना नहीं जानती है. So this was the literacy level in the state time, because it was compulsory for women, and then post-independence that was not able to maintain that.
That Maharani truly did show a lot of Shakti at that time, but so have you, which is why you've been honored with the NewsX Shakti Award for Excellence. Thank you so much, Radhikaraje Gaekwad, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Uday, for leading that conversation with Dr. Radhikaraje Gaekwad, Maharani of Baroda. Thank you so much, ma'am, for gracing us at the We Women Want Shakti Awards 2025.